Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're here with DDR Freak, who is a dev with Vimm.tv, and we're going to be diving into the platform today, what it's all about. So, if you just before we do that, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is DDR Freak. I am the ginger beard man. It's part of my shtick, and I'm sticking with it. I am the chief operations officer for Vimm.tv, and I've been with in that position for about 18 months now, give or take, something like that. And yeah, so Vimm is a live streaming a site built on the Hive blockchain, which I don't you're pretty familiar with the Hive blockchain. I'm pretty sure your
Yeah.
viewers are as well. We jumped over from Steam to Hive along with everybody else in the mass exodus, which that was this whole can of worms, I suppose. But
Yeah,
we
was
are
what it
happy.
was.
We are happy where we are. Our big focus has always been building communities, and it's one of those things that just like it was from the foundation. It was one of those founding points, and we've just stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, because recently I've been sort of looking into live streaming on the blockchain, and not by no means am I like you know, saying anything bad about Vim, but in the entirety of the space, it's somewhat lacking. And even if it's just in awareness too, like not that it's like a slight to any specific platform or anything, even just like the awareness of blockchain live streaming is
Absolutely.
very, yeah. There's a huge lack of awareness in the space. So I want to talk about Vim and like how you guys are unique and what makes you different. So just before we get into that, how did you get into cryptocurrency originally?
Um, so I had heard about Bitcoin back in like 2010, 2011, 2012. I was active on 4chan at the time, and there'd be people that would post on B talking about how they were making hundreds of dollars a month with these graphics cards, and most people were writing them off as the standard trolling and this, that, and the other.
Mm.
B is organized, is glorious chaos. There is no organization about it. It is pure unadulterated chaos. And so that was my first but that was my first exposure to cryptocurrency as like, oh, this is a thing, it exists. And over the years, I'd come up in conversation, oh, did you hear that Bitcoin is up to $300 now? I should have bought when it was cheaper. Did you hear it's up to $1,000 now? I should have bought when it was cheaper. Here we are.
Yeah.
um but I really didn't get into crypto like what really wasn't until like the big boom at the about Q3 2017 was when I
Same.
really
Yeah.
like got in. Yeah, and that's when everybody got into it. Let's be honest. I mean, even if you, that was the time that everybody got into crypto at that point. I mean, it was anything everybody. It was the only thing people could talk about. Um, and so I had been looking around at different ways to mine because my computer wasn't quite to the point where I could join a mining pool and pull any sort of decent rewards. And I didn't want to like buy cryptocurrency at the time. I was
Mm.
trying to hedge my risks. And so I was looking at like faucets and some of the whatever. And in looking at EOBot, I was working with EOBot at one point, just for whatever, because just as one of the ones that I was going through is like cloud mining. And there was this mention of Steam and like a social network component to it. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So I started researching, looking into that. And that was really my big foray into crypto when I really dove headfirst was getting in with the Steam community. And I joined, my wallet was created like mid December of 17, like 2 weeks before I got married. It's wonderful timing, I know. And I visited the Minneapolis Steam meetup. I met Tim Cliff like 4 months later. So I kind of dove into the Steam community pretty much head first, uh,
Yeah.
pretty early on, and got really involved. And I realized that the earnings for new users was not necessarily there, but if you put out a quality post, you could find yourself getting upvote bound by Curie or some of these other curation groups. But the community of people was what made me stick in with Steam and now Hive. Was that there's
Hmm.
that community focused, you know different opinions, different ideals. You could have a spirited conversation, but people will still be civil.
Mhm.
And I loved that about it, and I was like, I'm all in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because I had a very, very similar experience where I got in, invested just before the crash, lost a bunch of money, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the greatest at like calling the markets here, but like what else is there? And then I came upon Steam and then thus started that whole journey. So I guess yeah, it's interesting how a lot of people sort of started with the social media route, and that's kind of been my thing where I've said I think the mass adoption of crypto and blockchain will be through social media because
Use case.
or yeah, or ways that you would earn it. Because I think when people earn, they're able to like they don't have any risk or any I don't know if I can trust this or I don't understand. It's like, oh, I've got money waiting for me. I'll figure it out. Like
It
they'll
also
go
opens
the
itself up to abuse, but at the same time,
yeah.
it in terms of driving adoption and getting people interested, you have to have a use case. You have to give people a reason to want to hold, to want to trade it, to want to spend it, to want to use it. If you don't have that, you get people with like some of the Bitcoin wallets have been sitting on, like there was that big wave of somebody transferred coins from a wallet that had been sitting dormant for what was it, like since like 2012 or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You heard about that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you get these wallets that just sit there with and do nothing. What good does that do the coin? You need to have some sort of activity, some way to use it to really make it flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, you very, very briefly touched on Vim. Do you want to give a sort of a more drawn out explanation for people who've never really heard of it, or maybe even they're not familiar with Steam or Hive?
Sure. So what we do with Vim is whenever somebody goes live, well, for live streaming, it's like watching like this conversation that we're having now. If I were to be broadcasting it live, or you were to be broadcasting it live, people could be tuning in and watching us like a live TV show, like and anybody can grab a webcam, download OBS for free, and get a halfway decent microphone. I mean, this one that I'm using was like $35 on Amazon. A little USB to XLR cable. You can have a solid, decent microphone, and just start up a talk show. You
Yeah.
can play video games and people can tune in and heckle you or cheer you on. I mean, that's what I do. Is I most of my live streams are mainly playing retro video games. And for me, the fun is, I'm a collector. I've got just a gigantic collection of retro video games. So I'll pull something out, play through it, and a lot of these games are people that, some people have fun nostalgia for or have never heard of. So it's like, this is new, this is different, this is interesting. It becomes an opportunity to explore something unique. Or if you watch
Hmm.
somebody who plays professionally, watching high level gameplay, you can learn more about the game that you love and possibly even improve along the way. So live streaming, I mean, I liken it to the next evolution of TV. It's the next stage for entertainment because there's an interactivity component to it. With Vim and with pretty much every other live streaming site out there, there's a chat room running right next to the window. And as the broadcaster is live and active, you can type in chat and you can interact with other people watching, but you can also interact with the broadcaster, ask questions, crack some snide jokes at their expense. Watch them rage, laugh at their failures, cheer on their victories, and that interactivity makes live streaming a whole unique ball game compared to other entertainment media. Something like this conversation here for your viewers is more passive, but
Hmm.
YouTube and library have comment sections, so you can have some semblance of conversation, but it's not as engaged because you have to go back and read the comments after people post them. They're not talking to us while we're talking, and and that's where live streaming really sets itself apart. What we do with Vim is we take live streaming like what Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, and Mixer, RIP. Um, what we do is we have broadcasts just like they do, but what we do is anytime one of our streamers goes live and they have a Hive wallet attached, we create a post on the Hive blockchain that then people can upvote, and the streamer earns Hive right from that. And viewers who also hold Hive wallets can upvote their favorite streamer and financially support their favorite streamer without spending a dime. Going back into that reduced risk, earning,
Hmm.
everybody wins out of it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I've always said it's very challenging to get people to just like give donations on crypto platforms. Like if I were to say like, hey, like join this platform, buy this just so you can give it to me, right? Uh
Right.
that's not going to get a lot of people like excited, but if it's like, oh, I can donate money without actually giving any of my own money to someone that I want to help support, and that is just like that's the future of monetization and of being able to support people. Like you can do anything from supporting charities to your favorite streamers to whatever on Hive. So I think that's so awesome. So how would
The one thing that I want to put one comment in there: the financial support without spending money is simultaneously the best and worst part about Hive, in my opinion, because it's great because you can financially support without spending money, but then the hard part about it is explaining that to people who don't understand crypto and don't understand how proof of stake works.
because then
It
they might
it,
think it's like coming out of thin air or
they think it reeks of pyramid scheme,
yeah.
is what it does. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, it reeks of pyramid scheme. But I mean, it's obviously not. It's just the way proof of stake works is fundamentally different than a proof of work coin, and not everybody's on board with that. It is
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
think I think the main misunderstanding is actually a lack of a true understanding of fiat.
Yeah,
That people don't able like they're not able to sort of see the like the correlation or the differences because they're like, oh well, that's not based on anything. It's like, well, what's fiat really based on anymore? Um, so
exactly.
we can make that argument all day, but I do think that is important to also note. So how would you say that Vimm is like uniquely different from say like other live streaming platforms? To name a few, D Live, Theta.tv, Float has some live streaming capabilities. I'm not sure if there's any others that I'm aware of off the top of my head, but yeah, if you'd like to elaborate on that.
So our big thing with Vim is that, and actually it's kind of funny, the part of why I got involved with Vim was exactly because I had the opposite experience at DLive, ironically enough. um, Vim is, by and large, by all accounts, a community of builders. We focus on building up the people around us, and they in turn build us up as well. And we started with building a positive feedback loop from the beginning, and our community as a result. I mean, it's smaller than DLive, but our community is active, and it goes out of its way to help each other out. Whereas, and no disrespect to DLive, uh, shortly
You
before I
can feel
joined the
free
Viv
to.
team, shortly before I joined the Vim dev team, I reached out to one of the DLive staff. I'm not going to name him here just because respect and all that. I said, "Hey, I've got some ideas. I've noticed a couple of problems. I have a couple potential solutions. Let me work with you." And I was more or less ignored. And there were issues that I saw and there were issues with adoption and community building and a little bit of operational side of things
Mhm.
as well, a little bit of easy
Oh,
use.
and for people who aren't aware, this is when D Live was actually originally on Steam, and then they since moved to Lino, and then they've
I
since
had
moved to
just
Tron.
moved to Lino at this point, actually.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yep, so it was shortly after the Steam migration.
okay.
Yes. So it was Lino was still relatively new, but I mean there was definite potential there. People were streaming. This was before PewDiePie showed up. Um, and I was more or less ignored. And I reached out to Sheeran over with Vim and started talking with him a little bit. I said, "Hey, I've got some ideas. I mean, obviously, I want to help you, but let's make it worth my while as well." And so I little bit of bartering, got some larger value upvotes for my support, for my assistance. And and I get to talking with him. He's like, "That sounds fantastic. Let me bring in the other people at Vimm, and let's all talk together." And so we had I think it was we had at least one more phone call, and I think there was a second one. And I made just like an off the cuff joke of like, "So when are you guys gonna hire me?" And Sharon goes, "Well, actually, that's why we wanted to talk with you today." And that's kind of how I joined the Vimm dev team. And my goal from the beginning has been community building, outreach, improving the public consciousness, and then also on the development side, also helping with feature planning, implementation, and helping Sheeran coordinate, what's going to be higher priority, what's going to be lower priority, taking that off of his plate so he can focus on just straight development.
Okay, okay, awesome. Yeah. Um, in terms of like what makes the actual platform like feature wise, like how is that different from what people might expect on like D Live or on like Theta or Float? Like what makes Vim like, I mean, obviously like the community is amazing,
Mhm.
and I mean, I can name a few things that makes it different. So like D Live, for example, requires KYC to get your funds out, regardless if you've earned them or deposited them. Um, D Live has minimum withdrawals. You have to be a certain age. You have to have streamed 80 hours worth. Um, yeah, I mean, if you wanna just tackle some of that.
Yeah. So for Vim, all we do is we use Hive Signer to hook into your Hive wallet. So once when you get paid you're getting paid for the upvotes. We're not withholding that from you. We do take a portion of the curation rewards to help us with our with our regular expenses, and default is set to 20%, and you can adjust it if you wanted to go higher. You can go as high as you want. I've got mine set to 20%, and we got a couple people that do 25. But yeah, it that's the only cut that we take in terms of that. The other feature that would differentiate us, not so much from like Theta or DLive or Float, but more compared to Twitch, is that our process for what features you have access to, one of the things we set out very early on was to make it as clear and easy to understand as possible. Because let's be honest, the partner program for Twitch is about as clear as mud. It is horrendously opaque. It's very difficult to like figure out how to reach the point, and they set the goal unattainably high for the vast majority of people. There are over 2.7 million people that stream on Twitch in any month, and only 27,000 of them are partnered. Less than 1% of all Twitch streamers are partnered. And the new features that are given out that Twitch develops, they go to partners first. If you're not partnered, Twitch really doesn't care about you. As unfortunate as that is. So what we did was we set up a leaderboard, and we tied your streaming activity, how often you stream, and also the activity of your chat room. We tied the two of those to your growth. So just streaming a 24/7 stream will get you, some will unlock some stuff for you. But really the best way to grow is to foster that community. Get people coming in, saying hi, and chatting with you. And that will elevate your standing on our leaderboard. So we've got a top 5, and those are the people that we would consider we consider our top 5, and then our platinum, which is our top 10% of all streamers, to be our partners, I guess, for lack of better words. And so those people those people are going to be getting a lot of the newer features, but then we'll also do, slightly reduced variations to our gold, which is our top 25%, and our silver, which is our top 50% of all streamers. So, like, for example, we have replays of our live streams for platinum and top 5 partners. Those streams are active for 30 days, or those replays are active for 30 days. For gold, we will do, like, 3 weeks, and for silver we do 1 week. So it gives you it incentivizes rising up on the ladder. and also encourages you to, and it also gives you something quantifiable and easy to understand. Easily, you can easily look at the leaderboard and say, "Oh yeah, this is where I'm at. I am this far behind this person. Couple more streams, a couple more people come in and say hi, and I can bump up to the next level." And we made it scalable. And by doing a percentage base, we made it scalable. So when we start hitting 100,000 streamers in a month, we're still going to have, a certain number of people will be able to get this, certain number of people will be able to get this, and it's not going to it's not going to crimp things too much in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. In terms of like user adoption and how many people are actively streaming on there right now?
Right now, let's take a look. Actually, I can pull up. Right now, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 14. We have 17 current streams active right now. We usually average we're getting about 2,500 to 3,000 monthly active users. And actually, we just shot up over 700,000 points on the Alexa rankings in the past month. Went from
Wow.
900,000 to 230 something.
Wow.
So we are growing. We are seeing more activity. Most streamers will have, 1, 2, 8 people tuned in at any given time. We have a Vimm Plays Pokemon channel going right now. It's a Pokemon Soul Silver running, and you just type in chat up, down, left, right, A, B. You can hit the buttons that way and interact through that. And the guy who's running it is sharing the Hive rewards that he gets from his payouts. So it's a great way to. He's doing a great job of fostering that interactivity and encouraging people to take part.
Awesome. Yeah. And like I think that will probably go up. I especially because with DLive, for example, like PewDiePie just recently left.
Back to
And
YouTube, yeah.
yeah, so I mean that's kind of showing maybe he left because he realized how bad it was, or he was only really there for the money. Maybe it's sort of going to show people like, oh, maybe this isn't as good as I thought. Like I think a lot of people went there just because of PewDiePie. And I think a lot of people going on to, well, this is the big thing. I think a lot of people going on to any live streaming platform are coming there from like Twitch, thinking that it is going to be a good alternative to Twitch. So when they go on DLive and they see, oh, I can earn cryptocurrency or whatever, and there's all these people, it's like that's great, but then they don't realize it's like, oh, well, I have to give them my ID and I have to have a certain amount and I have to have all these things to actually get any money out of it.
Well,
I
Twitch
think more
requires
and more.
similar stuff anyway, so that's for people that are coming from Twitch that had something similar prior. That's going to be a moot point for them. They're not going to care about that.
True. Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, like this is new and this is interesting, so they're not really looking so far into what DLive is all about and realizing, it's not as good as what they're actually promising versus like once people start to like look around more and shop around more and they see something like Vimm, it's like, oh, like I can actually get all of, like my rewards and I don't have to KYC and all these other things. I think they'll sort of see that value there because there aren't very many good solutions as we've been saying, and even other good solutions like Float doesn't have platform awards, so it's just based on tips and super chats. So like, and I would say Theta and DLive are sketchy in the sense that it's very challenging to get your funds out, and with Theta I don't even think you can.
Theta is still very, very new. So that's also probably playing a part. The hard part with a lot of with getting a site off the ground like this is you have to work out your monetization pretty early on. You also have to get a couple of big names to sign on with you to drive some hype to your platform, and you also need to have you need to be advertising to viewers and streamers at the same time and make sure that everybody gets everybody gets what they want. And I tell you what, it's a dance. It really is. It is a balancing act that few people understand well. And if you ever figure it out, you let me know because I mean, it's not easy, but is it worth it? I think so. One of the things that really has motivated me over the years, and one of the things that reminders in the back of my head, it comes from an old Magic the Gathering card from Odyssey. Yeah, it's a card called Anarchist, and I don't remember what the card does, but the flavor text on it stuck out to me. Those who refuse to follow are doomed to lead.
Mm.
And for me, I got pretty well fed up with Twitch back in 2016. Started looking around. I was streaming on Smashcast for a while. I was streaming on DLive for a while. I've been doing simulcasting on Twitch, Vimm, and up until now Mixer. And my that's kind of that flavor text, that saying has influenced my thought process. I've looked at what I didn't like from these other platforms, and I said, what can we do to Vimm to make it better than that, make it better than them? And excuse me, and that's kind of, what's the right word here? That mindset really has helped Vimm in the long run, because I'm looking at what we're doing now, where we can improve, what is our competition not doing, and why aren't we doing it now? And I'm able to take that and turn it into something that can then be marketed to outside parties. When Mixer announced that they were shutting down, there was a whole swath of people on Twitter saying, I don't like Twitch, but I don't have much choice. Chime in with Vimm here saying, hey, we exist, and we're focused. We are a community of builders. We focus on building people up. If this sounds like something you might be interested in, come check us out. And you can you can turn your competition's weaknesses into your own strengths, and make your platform more marketable in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you guys definitely seem to be filling that niche where a lot of the issues I've seen with the other platforms, you guys have sort of solved that. So I think that's really, really awesome. Are there any big updates or anything in the works right now for Vimm that are going to be releasing anytime soon?
Yes, and actually, there's a couple that I'm really excited about. So yeah, one of the big one, actually the one that's most imminent, is we are adding premium memberships as a monetization to help us fundraise and expand Vimm as a platform. So what we offer is it's a monthly subscription that will give you a bonus functionality and features. And if you want to give me a moment here, I'll pull up. I've got a nifty little infographic that I can send you
Oh, perfect.
to go with this. Give me 1 second here. I gotta pull it up from here. I'll get it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'll just have it on the screen there so that
Perfect.
people could check that out.
So the nice part, like what I had talked about earlier, where our platinum and top 5 partners get 30 days of VOD storage for their replays, where the replays are active for 30 days. The first tier of our premium membership gets that same 30-day replay duration, just right out the gate. You can get channel-specific chat emotes for your live streams. Viewers can add. We had something specific for viewers, and I can't find it here. Oh, we have a supporter badge for the channel. So that ties into subscriptions, which are going to be coming in as well, so viewers can subscribe to their favorite streamers. We've got different stuff, like you could set up like a VIP viewer badge for a streamer to say, hey, this guy's my VIP viewer this month. This person donated 100 gems to my stream. This guy's going to be the VIP viewer for the month of July. Stuff like that. We also have a third tier. The VIP viewer is part of our second tier. The third tier will have a featured section on the front page of featured streamers. So if you want to get your name out there, put your right smack dab on the front page. We'll have featured streamers rotating through an exclusive Discord channel where you could help shape the future of Vimm. We'll throw ideas at you for what we want to implement next. You help provide feedback and get in on the newest, latest, and greatest features coming to Vimm before they hit everybody else.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say like you'd like to see, or in an ideal future, where would Vimm be in like a year from now? And then, it's hard to look this far ahead in like the cryptoverse, but like 3 or 5 years from now.
I try not to look too far ahead with what we do with Vimm, partially because the cryptoverse changes at the drop of a hat. I mean, you look at how quickly that exodus from Steam to Hive happened. I mean, that was over the course of what, 5 weeks, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, things can change very quickly. That said, there are some things that I do. There are a couple of things that I do want to do, and a couple of things I'm already working on. One, we want to get some streaming organizations to start broadcasting on Vimm. I've eyed a couple, and without going into too much detail, I'm talking with I've found a couple organizations, people that I've worked with, friends that are run by some friends of mine, trying to work out, what it would take to get them to stream on Vimm instead of on their other platforms. I want to build out the community further. I definitely want to see us having a mobile app sooner rather than later. That's down the line. Obviously, it's you want to have the solid foundation first. You build out the infrastructure, then add the bells and whistles on top of it.
Yeah.
But a mobile app is on the roadmap. I also want to. I've got a couple of ideas for ways to foster more community engagement, and I'm not going to spill too much, but like we want to encourage streamers to go out and engage other streamers when they're not streaming. And there's ways to grease those wheels. I've got a couple little marbles rolling around in the back of the head. You shake my head enough, you start to hear them clinking around. But that's something that I would like to see happen down the line. And honestly, I would like to see more. I'd like to see more people talking about Vimm. And this conversation here, this is a great way to get the word out. And I want to thank you for letting me talk for already 40 minutes about this. I mean, this has been great for me to share Vimm, and your viewers will definitely benefit. I mean, if you've been thinking about streaming live, if you're thinking about live streaming, come check out Vimm. We will help. If you don't have a Hive wallet, we'll help you make one. I mean, that we'll do it, absolutely. And above all, I think as we've been seeing what's been happening with Twitch and Mixer, and some of the fallout that they've been having, I want Vimm to be that place of community growth and positivity. It's something that I've been working really hard to cultivate and to build up. I've been focusing on building up and helping the people that share that vision. The streamers that show up that have that same builder mentality. I'm tweeting out from the Vimm Twitter saying, "Hey, this person's live. Go check them out. Hey, this person just went live. Go check them out. Hey, this person who just started recently just reached gold in a couple of days. Congratulations! Keep up the good work. And you should everybody else that's seeing this, you guys should probably try and follow suit."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you've definitely got a lot on your plate, and I think that a lot of people will benefit from checking this out. And I'm also going to be doing a dive, like a demo of all of the live streaming platforms. So I'll definitely be going
Cool.
through and testing out Vimm as well when I do that. to sort of highlight everything that's out there, and then just sort of give a bit like the differences and stuff like that. So I'll be doing that soon as well. If you could have any crypto influencer, or I guess any streamer on Vimm, who would it be?
I would want to see Big Jiggly Panda, in all honesty. Big Jiggly Panda and Mini Lad and like that group of friends, Smitty, 407, Terrorizer, Moo, that whole group. They're active on YouTube, and they're funny as hell. I love them. They they're a delight to watch. I would love to see them come to Vim. I think they'd have a lot of fun. And hey, and my DMs are open. So if any of you guys are happen to stumble upon this, give me a holler. Well, let's talk.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, that is everything from my end. Thank you so much for being on the show. And again, everyone, make sure to go and check out Vimm, vimm.tv. And if you want to share your socials and Vimm socials for them to follow you guys on Twitter and everything else, feel free to do that as well.
So Vim is at Vimm_TV on Twitter. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. I think it's Vimm Live on Facebook, and I don't remember the Instagram off the top of my head. I know I'm really prepared here.
It's probably on the website though, right?
It's somewhere on the website. Yeah, I'll get those to you as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much, everyone. Make sure to check out Vimm. And if you want to live stream without all the ridiculous restrictions of every other major blockchain live streaming platform, then that's probably where you should be going. So again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for watching this video to the very end. Since you did, make sure to give it a like and comment hashtag #1ham in the comments below, so that way I know that you watched the whole video. Also, please subscribe to this channel and feel free to follow me anywhere under @ScottCBusiness. I'm basically on every platform. You can also share this with someone else who might gain value from it, and that would be very helpful and impactful to helping my channel grow as well. If you'd like to support me more directly, you can also donate to scottcbusiness.eth or scottcbusiness.crypto listed below. Thank you so much for your support and for watching this video. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.